What up, everybody? Today we are taking a look at One Eye. Yeah, a character that I'm sure not a lot of people thought about when they watched the movie. He's got his own toy. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying it was probably a surprise to a lot of us that this guy even got his own figure. I'm curious to see what this one is gonna look like. I mean, obviously this is a new character, new figure. It's always more exciting for me personally when it comes to reviewing a new character compared to like reviewing another Godzilla or another Kong, because obviously I've seen them in my sleep now. To see a new character is a bit refreshing. So I am genuinely excited to see this one, and I will be reviewing Drowned Viper after this one, so lots to look forward to. So what has Playmates done with this side character? I think he's the top guy in terms of Skar King's henchman. He's the guy, he's the second in command behind Skar King, so he does have some significance. Also, he does try to literally murder a child. I'm aware there is a brand new Monsterverse packaging for these figures. One Eye and Drowned Viper do have that new rebranded package. I have the original GXK packaging here. I was unable to get the new packaging, so it is what it is. But I do think if these do stock in retail, that being Toys R Us or Walmart's for us, it will most likely be in the new package, the Monsterverse packaging. I think we're all quite used to this old packaging at this point. We got our Godzilla and Kong renders, we got the movie logo up top, Monsterverse logo up top, One Eye just in pure English. I know sometimes I have these packages written in different languages, and that's because I actually got them imported from Canada, manufactured in Canada. Not these ones. This one, I had to get it from the US. This side, here's the bottom, and here's the back. I'm actually curious to see the description they wrote for One Eye here, so let's read it. As a devious lieutenant to the Skar King, One Eye carries his bone, I do not know how to say that, truncheon, to dominate the great apes and battle any who defy their ruler. And then here's the other figures. We got the real feel figs here. We got the Drowned Viper, which I will be reviewing after this one. And then we have these three, which obviously I have already. That is the box done. Let's open it and take out One Eye. Okay, this new monkey is out of the box. I'm actually really impressed with this one. Playmates did a pretty solid job translating this guy into an action figure form or as a toy form. We've yet to see any other of the higher end toy companies do their figures on this, like Bandai and Haya. But for a children's toy intended for children to play with, this is pretty solid, not too shabby. Usually, with Playmates toys, sometimes they skip out on details, sometimes that sacrifices the appearance of the figure, but I think for One Eye's case, because his colors are very minimal, it's pretty solid. The balance of the light and dark gray is countering each other pretty well. Like, there is good balance. And then also you have some tattoo markings. I guess that's normal in Skar King's cult, so it's appropriate. You know, it doesn't stand out poorly. Like, they are intentionally meant to be there to be artificial. I think this looks better than Skar King. I'm not even joking. I know Skar King's supposed to be the main antagonist, but I think Playmates might have given One Eye a bit too much aura, because good God, he's more menacing than Skar King. How is this guy's boss? This guy should be the boss. You should run the ape clan. Skar King, sit your ass down. All right, well, that's Skar King. What about Kong? We already know Kong is way beefier and buffier than Skar King. Like, that's a no-brainer. But what about One Eye? Well, as you can see, One Eye here is actually like the same height. Yeah, he's the same height around Kong. One Eye here still looks a little bit more buffier than Kong. I know muscles, obviously not. Kong still got the muscles. Yeah, it kind of looks like One Eye here is much more of a menace than Skar King. See, if he was the main villain, oh yeah, then Kong's got a challenge. This is something. This is a proper monkey matchup. So I feel like he is a combination of the lankiness of Skar King with the thin arms and legs, but he's got the tough look of Kong. Let's take a closer look into the colors. So, as I mentioned, he has like a good balance between light and dark gray. You can see it, this is a little off with the legs. I just noticed this leg has some light gray shading on it, but this leg does not. This leg is solid dark gray color. The shading should have continued down here as well, just to keep it consistent. And then we also have some of the shadings here at the feet as well. We have more of that traveling up from the hand to the forearm to the shoulder. This is pretty solid color work here. I'm very, very happy with what I'm looking at again. And the same thing on this side. Lots of light gray just countering against the dark gray. And then we look at the chest. You can see he's got the tattoo, or the markings of a tattoo. It looks messy. It looks like he wasn't really neatly placing that on there. You can tell. When you look at this, you can tell there's like a finger. It doesn't look clean. It's not supposed to look clean. And then we have a slight shading of red on his right shoulder here. So nothing on this shoulder, but on this side, you can see a slight shading of red. That's a good little attention to detail. Now, if we look at the face, he's got the face that is literally staring into your soul. That will give you nightmares in your sleep. But they call him One Eye because, well, he literally does have just one eye. His other eye is blind. I've noticed with Skar King and Kong, Playmates tend to get lazy with the paint. Sometimes you can barely make out the eyes, especially with the Skar King from the Ultimate Titan Battle Pack. But with One Eye here, it's very detailed. And also you can see the scratch marks on his eye, which I guess the scratch here is what caused this eye to be blind. And if we look at his head, oh my god, this guy's hairline is so far back. That is, but that is a cursed hairline, good god. If we look at the back of the figure here, you can see it's all one solid color. So a lot of details, you saw that with the front, and I just kept the back nice and clean. And yes, you can see some of the ball sockets, unfortunately. Let's be honest, this is the side where most people won't be seeing. As I was showing you the arms earlier, you saw all the shading of the light gray. It's just clean, dark gray on this side. Nothing sticking out. All one color. So almost very consistent. They just missed out on the spot here. How about articulation? Well, he's got a similar body build as Skar King, so this guy's also got waist articulation. There's a full ball socket inside, so you can technically twist him all the way like this, even though it'll look super cursed, but it's possible. Look at that. So much range of movement there. It's a bit squeaky though. So of course that's shared by Skar King as well. And then we have head articulation, twisting his head left and right. That's about it. You can slightly, very slightly move it up and down, but it's like not much. It's mostly about turning his head left and right. And then arm articulation, shoulder, elbow, wrists. So all your basic articulations for the monkeys. Same thing on this side, elbow, twist with the waist as well. So good range of movements there. And then the legs, very stiff right now, but you can move the thigh, the knee, no feet articulation. So there's just 2 points of articulations here. And then the same on this leg as well, thigh and knee. There's enough articulation, in my opinion. I don't think there's more that could have been done. Maybe with the head, you can move him up and down a little better. There's a lot of options you can work with here in terms of the articulations. So we do have an accessory included, and that's a bone. It's called a bone club, but it's literally just a giant bone. So let's quickly take a look at it. I mean, I'm always open to seeing new accessories that's not a vehicle, a human, or just something to fill up the space, fill up the price tag. This is actually something useful, something that I can actually equip on my figure here. Flimsy plastic. You would think this is hard plastic, but it's not. It's actually quite bendable, so be careful. You don't want to snap this. I guess that makes sense for a child to play with this. You don't want super hard material because that could injure them. This is safe for play, but I do like these subtle details. Of course, it's just one color, so all the details come with the texture. You can see this bone really looks like it's aging. It literally looks like he took this out of a fossil or a skeleton of a dead titan. So it does have that rustic look on there. Now, we gotta equip this on him. I don't know which way though, but the idea is the same way Kong would hold his battle axe. There we go. Although it's not entirely secure, you can see it tends to just slip. So just try to push this up so the thicker bit is within his hand, so that at least there's some grip to it, there's some hold to it, because it's actually not that secure. He's kind of holding it more like a staff, like a walking stick rather than a weapon. I'd rather take accessories that will affect your toy, affect your figure, not some useless vehicle or like a little human. At least with weapons or tools, you can actually put them on your figure to enhance their appearances, give them some more playability as well. It's nothing over the top, it's just literally something for One Eye to hold. If you couldn't tell already, I am very impressed with this figure. It has blown me away. I will gladly give this a solid score of 9.5 out of 10. 0.5 off because it was almost perfection if they also put the shading of the light gray on this leg. As I mentioned, this guy, way better than Skar King in terms of the build and the quality of the toy. One Eye is a severely underrated character. Obviously, he doesn't really do much in the movie, but you do see him for a little bit. I don't think anyone asked for this figure to be made, but I am glad that this figure was made. Good job, Playmates. Now that we have an idea of what the children's toy looks like, perhaps maybe now that sets us up for what Haya Toys would do or Bandai would do, should they do their own versions of One Eye. Whether it's in the old packaging or the new packaging, doesn't matter. I think ultimately get it for the figure. The packaging is just secondary. This is definitely up there. This is definitely one of the better toys Playmates has put out. So that's my review on One Eye. If you want to check out the reviews I've done for Skar King and Kong, do check those out after this one. Hit the like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and we'll see y'all in the next video.